Welcome to the WVU Football Sports Chat on the dpost.com. I'm Todd Murray, and as always, joined by our WVU football writer, Ed Owens. Ed, the Mountaineers preparing for a big one Saturday night. Number 4 Oklahoma comes to Milan Puskar Stadium for the Big 12 Conference opener. And some news earlier in the week, cornerback Daryl Worley's been suspended indefinitely by Coach Dana Holgerson. What is this going to mean for the Mountaineers going forward?
Yeah, that's a big blow for the defense. I don't care what they say about pulling together and next man up, pick up the rifle and carry on. This is a big hit for WVU's defense. In the preseason, Dana was talking about how Worley had the opportunity to not just be one of WVU's best defenders, not just one of the Big 12's best defenders. He was talking about Worley on a national level. I mean, that tells you the expectations they had for him. To lose him for a game, especially a game as big as this, and maybe even further going forward, I think that puts them in a really tough spot, and there's going to be other guys who need to step up, but I don't know that they can do it to the level that Worley did.
Right, Icky Banks' name has been mentioned a lot. What have you seen out of him? What is he capable of?
Terrell Chestnut and Travis Bell won the starting jobs out of camp when Icky Banks got a 3-game suspension for academic reasons. They've been alternating, splitting time, with Chestnut getting all 3 starts opposite Worley. I think now you're going to have to look to see maybe those 2 guys start opposite each other and maybe work Banks into it. WVU's coaches were pretty coy about how they were going to deploy their cornerbacks, but at least in Icky, you've got a guy who has starting experience. He knows what to expect. He's played in big games before, so it's not like they're just throwing somebody into the fire for the first time. I think that can definitely help them. It's
going to be an interesting challenge defensively Saturday night. You've got Trevor Knight, Oklahoma quarterback, a very mobile guy. He can hurt you, with his arm and with his feet. And they saw that a little bit this past Saturday with C.J. Brown at Maryland. What's going to be the key for the defense Saturday?
Yeah, absolutely. You saw it against Alabama. You saw it a little bit against Maryland as well. C.J. Brown breaking off that really long touchdown run. Trevor Knight has been possibly even more dynamic than that. Knight is a guy who really can make plays with his feet, make plays with his arm. A lot of that was talked about last year for this WVU matchup, and we didn't really see it out of him. But he's had a year since then, and his development has been off the charts. Dana said it himself. Bob Stoops said it in the Big 12 conference call this week. Trevor Knight is really light years ahead of where he was last year. Fans shouldn't expect to see the same player. Neither should WVU's defense. They really need to be assignment sound. They can't come in. If they overplay that run, they're going to get beat deep. If they play too deep, he's going to be able to beat them with their feet. Being sound and being on assignment is going to be super important for the defense this week.
Moving over to talk about the offense for a bit, Kevin White and Mario Alford, continuing, to make, some really big plays, and got to think that's, going to open up some things for other areas in the offense, such as the running game.
Yeah, absolutely. Dana was asked about it earlier this week, and when he was asked about how Kevin and Mario compare to former wide receivers Tavon Austin and Stedman Bailey, my jaw kind of dropped when his response was, they allow us to do more. I mean, you saw how Tavon and Stedman really kind of tested defenses, but with Kevin and Mario being outside receivers as opposed to Tavon being an inside receiver, it allows WVU to really stretch the field vertically, forces safeties to play back. A lot of the talk this week was how Maryland's safeties were playing 30 yards off the ball, which WVU's offense had never really seen. A lot of the guys were taken aback by that, but it opened up the running game and really allows WVU to do some things on the ground.
With this game Saturday night, WVU finds itself playing its second top 5 team in 4 weeks, and I'm not sure that's happened before in WVU history, and very few teams in the country can lay claim to that. What does it mean to be facing that kind of challenge in such a short amount of time?
No rest. I mean, they certainly aren't getting any breaks this early part of the schedule, but I think they're embracing it. WVU is embracing this challenge, especially being a nighttime home game. Everyone's talking about how the atmosphere in Morgantown, you can't beat it for a Saturday night game. Everyone's really excited, and I think that also shows how far this team has come from last year. Last year, they might not have relished the opportunity as much as they did. This team is confident. They think they have it in them. They think they let one get away against Alabama, and they'd really like to show that this week against Oklahoma.
We will see how it plays out Saturday. Ed, thank you for your time. Please continue to follow our WVU football coverage on the dpost.com.